That's it. But that's all it was. But I wasn't going to get into it on national television. I'm a professional. Now, if it had escalated and he wanted to get into it more, we'd have kept the cameras rolling. I'd have said fine. And if I had been in studio and that was something that he wanted to broach, I would have reiterated what I said.
Good job, Steven. Go ahead and keep capping, keep being scared, keep being a fraud when it comes to having real smoke with people in person. Remember when him and LeBron James had that confrontation at the Lakers arena?
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father. Here's what happened.
Stephen A. Smith responds to being checked by Serena Williams' husband. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Serena Williams, she is married to billionaire Alexis Ohanian, and he came on First Take today to promote some new event that he's got going on with Atheos and all of that. And, people are talking about how he came at me, and took a slide dig, because of what I said and, when Serena Williams was on stage performing at the Super Bowl. I've never met this man. I wish I was in studio today, but I'm not. I have a speaking engagement, so I'm out of town. That's why I was not there today. It would have been nice to meet him. I don't know the man. I have nothing against him whatsoever. I don't recall saying a negative word about him.
Let's be real, Steven. Even if you weren't in studio when Serena Williams was there, you weren't going to keep that same energy. I know that Stephen A. Smith, he got all the energy in the world when he's talking about somebody, but when he has to confront them or they pull up on him, he has to keep it professional. He doesn't want to go that route. No one's saying to crash out and lose your $100+ million contract, but there's ways to address certain things by being professional. If you're professional enough not to address it, be professional enough to address it, but not let it cross that next line. Serena Williams' husband wasn't going to go out and crash out on you, even if it was through video or if you were in person. So Stephen A. Smith, man, you got to learn to stand on business. Again, don't lose your bag, but have some credibility. Have a backbone. Keep some type of energy, not negative energy like you're going to curse and just say some crazy stuff on TV, knowing that you got $100 million plus on the line with Disney. We know Disney don't play that, and I know they would want the ratings if you found a way to, address them in the coolest way possible. You talk about somebody's wife, at the end of the day, regardless of what you said about Serena Williams, in my opinion, I don't think you were wrong for what you were saying, but the way that you said it, someone gonna have an issue with that, especially someone's husband. So Stephen A., bro, you gotta learn to stand up for yourself. Stop being a punching bag when you issue that energy, but you're not able to take that energy as well.
It's just that when Super Bowl Sunday took place when Kendrick Lamar was performing, Serena Williams came on stage, dancing to all of that. And according to the reports and stuff like that, she's the ex of Drake. Essentially, what I said was, why that energy for an ex? If, that was my wife, I don't want to see that. And so because of that, that's what he was alluding to.
Nah, you said much more than that. The clip on ESPN that, I would leave her if she did such a thing, having all that energy for the ex. And I get it again. What you're saying in retrospect, you're not wrong. Like, why are you keeping that energy with Drake? When you moved on, you got kids and you're with somebody else, you're married. So in context, he was right. But again, you say something about somebody's wife, you got to be ready for that. So now you remember it after the fact, talking about it on your show. But in the moment, you were kind of flabbergasted, like, I don't know. I'm going to keep it professional. Nah, bro, you don't want that type of smoke. Dude, billions up in the game. When it comes to people that are richer than you, you're going to fall back. You're going to concede. You're going to tuck your tail. Stephen A. Smith, you looking like a fraud right now.
I'm glad that it didn't escalate or anything like that. He is her husband. He loves her dearly. They have 2 wonderful children together. And I have absolutely no issue with him whatsoever wanting to address that situation with me because that's her husband. And I certainly meant no disrespect towards him at all. I was just saying that men, knowing us as men, if we're married and our wife is showing energy towards anybody else, even in a negative way, we're asking ourselves, if you're happy, why show that energy? That's it. But that's all it was. But I wasn't going to get into it on national television. I'm a professional. Now, if it had escalated and he wanted to get into it more, we'd kept the cameras rolling. I'd have said fine.
No, you wouldn't. Like you said, you're professional. If he really wanted to take it there, Steven, you would have tucked your tail. Again, he's $1 billion plus up in the game, multi-billionaire, sold Reddit. So this ain't just some regular person off the street that you can just, talk to like that. He got a lot of power within the industry, in tech. And again, he has a lot more money than you. And we've seen historically, if you got more money than Stephen A. Smith, he gonna fall back. He won't have that type of energy with you. Yeah, he may say things here and there, but Stephen A. Smith knows when you got the power, when you're one up on him, he knows where to take it. So let's say that homie really wanted to take it there with you, Stephen. Again, between you being professional, using that as an excuse, you would have just kind of did the same thing you did regardless. So again, Stephen A. Smith, no need to cap. Be like, you know what? I usually throw rocks and hide my hands. That's what you do best, and you earned a lot of money doing it. Don't try to switch up now once you're on your own platform and the smoke clears.
But he was sitting there saying, you wasn't married, right? So, you giving marital advice. That's how he framed it. And he says, I give advice about building companies because that's what I do, essentially implying that I'm not married, so who am I to say something like that? I'm saying, paraphrasing. I think that's a fair comment on his part. I don't have to agree with it, but I took no offense to it, and if I had been in studio and that was something that he wanted to broach, I would have reiterated what I said.
You weren't going to reiterate anything, Steven, and you say you have no issue with it, but you already know people in your comment section, people on Twitter tweeting you, so now you feel as though you got to address it. If it's no issue, ignore it. You don't got to react to the people commenting on you, trolling you. If you feel as though, it was no malice behind it, whatever you said, why go ahead and respond to it on your platform? So Stephen A. Smith is just showing he's capping. He's scared in the moment when people address him. He doesn't know how to handle it. Again, if it's on his own platform, he on the microphone, he gonna talk all the junk in the world. But you run into these individuals in person, through video, again, he's gonna take his tail. He wants no part of any issues.
Maybe in a more respectable manner than my initial reaction after Super Bowl Sunday when I was just having fun. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that I respect him. That's her husband. That's his wife. And evidently, he didn't like what I said. I respect it, and I wish him and his wonderful wife, who I think is the GOAT, greatest female tennis player of all time.
Good job, Steven. Go ahead and keep capping, keep being scared, keep being a fraud when it comes to having real smoke with people in person. No one's saying to risk everything that you work for at ESPN, but you got to know in the moment to keep some type of energy. Again, have a little bit of backbone. You can still be professional and still do what you do. But historically, Stephen A. Smith has always been like this. Remember when him and LeBron James had that confrontation at the Lakers arena? This is what Stephen A. Smith had to say after the fact on Gil's Arena.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father. Here's what happened. I'm represented by William Morris Endeavor. The founder of William Morris Endeavor, Ari Emanuel, had courtside seats right next to the Lakers bench. He had Larry David with him, star of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm sitting with them. I get there in the first quarter. I'm sitting courtside, and I stand up, and then I got my head turned. And then I turned back around, and a lot of people thought this was the end of the game or something like that. This was in the third quarter.
Here we go.
Apparently, LeBron had walked out of the timeout, and I turn around, and he's right here in my face. He said, yo, you got to stop talking shit about my son. You got to stop with my son. That's my son. That's my son. And I was like, what?
You see how you all surprised? Like, oh my gosh, what did he say? Like you didn't realize you were speaking about Bronny and about LeBron James. And in this situation as well, I don't think he did anything wrong. He wasn't disrespecting Bronny James. He was more talking about LeBron and just everything surrounding Bronny and him not being ready to be in the NBA. But again, if you got smoke out there, you got to realize that people can confront you at any given moment. So you see how he remembers everything now on Gil's Arena and other platforms. But in the moment, again, he just has amnesia, doesn't know anything. Stephen A. Smith, he's scared of the smoke in person.
He said, nah, that. I said, yo, let's talk later. He's like, that. Nah, that. You got to stop with my son. And I said, all right, though. And he walked off. So I remember during a timeout in the first quarter, seeing Bronny. Bronny looked over at me, and he had this sad look on his face.
Even Bronny knew what was up.
And I'm imagining Pop saw that it hit him. Yeah. And he couldn't hold it, and he rolled up on me.
Nah.
And so when I went on the air the next morning, first things first, believe it or not, I know this is shocking for people to believe, but I didn't have any intentions on talking about it until I woke up that morning and saw that the shit had gone viral. Once the shit going viral, the bosses at ESPN, now you got to talk about it. This is you and him. You got to talk about it. I said, fine. So I go on the air.
Yeah, I just wanted to show historically how Stephen A. Smith never wants to smoke. And again, with the Serena situation and the LeBron situation, I don't think he was wrong, but I'm just more talking about when people confront you and you say certain things, right or wrong, you got to be ready for their reaction. You can't be like, oh, stunned and I don't know what's going on and you're stumbling over your words. Stephen A. Smith is known to have smoke when he's in his studio talking junk. Can do what he wants, don't have to worry about anything. But when he sees these individuals in person or in video, he wants no issue. So again, Stephen A. Smith, moving forward, no one's saying for you to lose everything that you earned at ESPN. Don't mess up that $100+ million bag, but just, keep a little bit of energy with you at all times because you never know when you're going to run into these people.